A South African man abducted from his hotel and held hostage by Al-Qaeda in Mali since 2011 has now been freed. South Africa's foreign ministry says that Stephen Malcolm McGown has been reunited with his family. He was kidnapped in the city of Timbuktu in Mali along with Swede nationals Johan Gustafsson and Dutchman Jacques Richke. Gustafsson was released in June while Richke was freed back in April of 2015 by special forces. Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb had claimed responsibility for the kidnapping of the three men.
Happy birthday for 2 weeks ago, Mom. I hope you had a really good day. To my beautiful wife, a happy wedding anniversary for last week.
All right, let's now go straight to Daniele Pagani joining us from the WION newsroom on the very latest on this story. Daniele, certainly a release that's been long overdue in South Africa.
Yes, I mean, this man who now is luckily free was held prisoner for 5 years. 5 years is a long time. Just to put things into perspective, his mother died while he was in captivity, and we don't know if he knew, if he got to know. So even imagine the emotional stress of this moment. You are finally free after 5 years and you kind of expect your mother to come and meet you, and you kind of learn that she died. But the important part of this story is that he's free, but the other important part of this story that according to intelligence sources, as much as $4.3 million were paid as a ransom for this hostage, which are money that now are with the branch of Al-Qaeda active in northern Mali. Northern Mali is where the Al-Qaeda affiliates active in the so-called Sahel region, which is a region running all along Central Africa, have their headquarters. And this is where he was perhaps being held captive.
Daniele, also give us some insights, perhaps. Could authorities now perhaps get a better understanding, a clearer picture of Al-Qaeda and its operatives in Africa? I mean, that certainly is a problem with the rising militant groups there, Al-Shabaab also. Perhaps with now this release, could they maybe get some information that could better help them understand the situation there in Mali and other countries there as well?
Well, surely they can have a sort of insight on what happened to these men. Nevertheless, obviously, the Al-Qaeda people or whoever was guarding over these men never discussed operatives and never disclosed information, relevant information with the hostage. They obviously never do, for obvious reasons. So the amount of information which will be useful for understanding the perfect functioning of Al-Qaeda in this particular region of the world will not lie with these men. But he can obviously sort of give an insight on how many people he saw. What kind of age span was it? I mean, were they young? Were they old? Did he move? Did he move only in Mali? He moved all over the region. So these will obviously be information that the authorities, the relevant authorities, will try to understand. The major problem here is that Al-Qaeda, despite and differently than what the Islamic State has done, has been working on, I would say, the sideline of the Islamic State for these years. So we, the news, were very much focused on the Islamic State, but in the meanwhile, Al-Qaeda was regrouping in several parts of the world, and the Sahel region, particularly Mali, northern Mali, is where they have their headquarters.
All right, let's stand by really quickly. In fact, the Minister of Security addressed this issue. Let's listen into that.
Our foreign policy is very clear. We don't actually get into a payment of ransoms at the very same time, because remember our engagement from government to government and other bodies that are there. We're able to actually release him without any...
Danielle, let me also go back to you with regards to the safety of some of the people in South Africa. We heard about the security, the ransom, the situation. Perhaps how important is that as foreign officials work on making sure those who visit the area are protected so things like this don't happen again?
Well, it's very important. We have also to recall that the hostage, the South African hostage, was actually a tourist in Mali when he got abducted. He was actually inside a local restaurant inn when he was abducted and forced at a gunpoint to step on a vehicle which then ultimately brought him to his prison or his prisons. We will understand more details as soon as and if he decides to talk with the media and with authorities. Obviously, it is very important also to understand that South Africa does not facilitate the payment of ransom, and the game is all about that. So a ransom is a very profitable, kidnap is a very profitable industry for all the terrorist organizations all over the world. I would say that along with oil and smuggling of weapons and drugs is the most profitable. As I was telling before, a ransom of $4.2 million has been paid. It's a huge sum, a sum with which an organization like Al-Qaeda in Mali can buy people protection, politicians, can bribe the police, can bribe security forces, border personnel, can buy more weapons, can put more soldiers on the paycheck. It's very dangerous, and this is why it's a very pillar of their organization. And normally they tend to keep hostages alive when they know that they can get a ransom. It's different in cases like the United States, for instance. They do not pay any ransom. This is why the majority, unfortunately, of the hostages, if not militarily freed, are killed and executed.
All right, Daniele Pagani getting us the very latest on this story. Daniele, thank you for those updates.